Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a fascinating source today that claims a fundamental shift is happening in how small and medium businesses manage their digital presence. We're going to unpack a platform called Foyern and look at exactly how it proposes to transform a website from an expensive, stagnant liability into a live, highly editable business asset. Let me tell you, if you've ever felt completely trapped by your own website, you are going to find this analysis incredibly relevant. Okay, let's dive right into this. For small and medium businesses, launching a website is usually this huge cause for celebration. It really feels like the finish line. But our sources highlight a pretty harsh reality. That launch, it is literally only about 10% of the battle. The other 90% is what the source material bluntly describes as a maintenance nightmare. Because right after the champagne pops on launch day, business owners quickly find themselves locked into an exhausting cycle of developer dependency just to make the most basic updates. It's an incredibly common and incredibly expensive frustration.
Which brings us to Section 1, the website maintenance nightmare.
This really unpacks the massive friction that happens when your business is evolving rapidly but your digital storefront is essentially stuck in the mud. It begs a very pointed, almost rhetorical question. Why does a fast-moving business have a slow-moving website? Think about it. You're launching new services, you're hiring new team members, you're changing your operating hours, yet your website simply cannot keep up. The pain of waiting days or sometimes even weeks just to get a simple paragraph of copy updated or a team photo swapped out is a massive roadblock for agility. Small changes shouldn't mean agonizing delays or extra costs, but for most businesses, they absolutely do.
So, let's look at Section 2, 3 broken traditional models.
To understand why this happens, we have to look at the current landscape and explore the structures that have just been failing the SMB market. We're essentially looking at Goliath-like tech structures being forced onto David-sized businesses. The first broken model is the traditional static website. Now, building a static site might seem perfectly fine on day one. It looks crisp, it looks clean, but day two, that is when the trap springs, instantly hitting you with developer lock-in. Want to change text or swap an image? Well, you have to raise a support ticket and endure long wait times. You end up paying expensive retainer fees or hourly rates just for someone to change a comma or update a business address. Because of this high friction, owners literally just stop making updates. The site goes stale, leading directly to outdated content and, consequently, a massive loss in search engine relevance and client conversions.
This second model attempts to solve that static site problem by using traditional CMS platforms. Think along the lines of a customized WordPress or headless CMS. But boom, you are immediately hit with massive upfront setup costs, often exceeding a lakh of rupees or equivalent massive budgets. And honestly, it's not just the upfront cash. Suddenly, you are burdened with managing complex databases, live servers, SSL certificates, and constant, never-ending patching to prevent security vulnerabilities and plugin crashes. Sure, you gain editing flexibility, but you completely drown in hosting and maintenance overhead.
And that brings us to the third broken model, which relies on early AI website builders. Now, these are fantastic for quickly spinning up a prototype. But as the source data points out, they become massive bottlenecks as your business actually starts to grow. Say you want to add your writers or managers to collaborate. Well, you're immediately forced into buying expensive, high-tier subscription seats. Plus, small text edits suddenly trigger AI credit burnout. And if you've ever tried to adjust precise margins or layout links via text prompt, you know it's a fantastic way to quickly lose your sanity. You're also often left with these excessive cookie-cutter templates that just make your brand look exactly like everyone else's. So if static sites are too rigid, traditional CMS platforms are way too complex, and early AI builders are too restrictive, what is the actual alternative?
Let's get into Section 3, the frictionless Foyern solution. And this brilliantly illustrates the paradigm shift we're talking about today. The sources contrast the traditional approach directly with this new methodology, where the old way requires those heavy setup costs, complex databases, and endless agency retainers. The new way, powered by Foyern, focuses on instant AI creation. It completely eliminates the need to manage backend servers and offers a highly visual, click-to-edit CMS. The source material describes this as a total shift towards stripping away all that heavy, unnecessary infrastructure and replacing it with pure agility. So let's actually look at how this instant setup works in practice. You can generate a brand new site using a remarkably simple AI prompt. Our source material provides this exact example. Create a modern, minimal website for my psychology clinic. Include online appointment booking, service pages, testimonials, and contact information. That's literally it.
By just entering a concrete natural language prompt like this, the system outputs a professional, high-end CMS layout design completely from scratch. It requires absolutely zero coding knowledge to go from a single sentence to a fully functional digital storefront. But I know what you're thinking. What if you already have an existing website? Well, the source material details a custom URL migration feature that is truly fascinating. It's so simple. Step 1, you literally just input your old legacy URL. Step 2, you choose whether you want to keep your exact layout structure or provide instructions for a fresh design. Step 3, you decide to either import your old exact copywriting or let the platform automatically generate AI-optimized content based on it. Crawling a legacy site and porting it over removes developer dependency in mere minutes, totally bypassing what used to be a months-long, headache-inducing migration project. Let's move on to Section 4, Click to Edit Visual CMS. Now, what's really interesting is how you manage things once your site is generated or migrated. This brings us right to the heart of the platform, where non-technical employees can finally take total, fearless control of their digital presence without worrying about breaking the code. The concept of direct editing is taken quite literally here. Because there are no heavy backend databases or complex markup languages to navigate, if you want to change something, you literally just click it. You select text right on the live page and type your updates instantly. You can drag and drop to swap out client logos or placeholder graphics. Rearranging page components or adjusting margins is done with simple toggles. You can alter your brand's primary fonts, accent colors, and border roundness in seconds. The visual CMS updates the changes live, completely removing that frustrating disconnect between a clunky backend dashboard and the front-end results. Which naturally leads us to Section 5, Total Control Without Complexity. Because, let's be real, a website isn't just about looking good, it's about functionality. This focuses on the built-in infrastructure that actually replaces the need for messy third-party plugins, disjointed tools, and vulnerable software patches. The crucial takeaway here is how comprehensive this ecosystem is. For operations, instead of wrestling with back-end code just to capture leads, your contact forms and consult scheduling entries are compiled and dispatched straight to your business email. For content, there's a super clean, tip-tap-based built-in blog editor that's already optimized for search engines, so you can easily publish announcements and guides. For growth, it handles both traditional SEO and modern AEO, which we'll touch on in just a second. And for legal, the system automatically generates location-based privacy policies and terms and conditions tailored to your specific business structure in a single click. Foyern is essentially acting as your database, your server, your forms tool, and your designer all in one unified, completely seamless package. Furthermore, it completely solves that collaboration bottleneck we discussed earlier. You can finally empower your whole team without fear. The platform allows you to invite business managers, writers, or marketing assistants and give them access only to specific folders. You can easily toggle roles and restrict the root settings. This means your team can go in, update content, create new service pages, and manage the blog dynamically and safely without ever jeopardizing the core infrastructure of the site. And this platform doesn't just look at the present, it actively future-proofs your business. Traditional Google indexing is definitely important, but the landscape is shifting rapidly toward AI search agents. Foyern features inbuilt SEO and AEO, that's artificial engine optimization. It includes the built-in schema and tag toggles necessary to optimize your business site so that it is properly understood and recommended by modern AI search agents like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. You aren't just making editing easier for today, you are actually securing your discoverability for tomorrow. Which leaves us with this final, truly essential question to consider. We've seen how the friction of static sites and complex traditional CMS models literally hold small and medium businesses back. We've explored how instant AI creation, URL migration, and a purely visual click-to-edit interface completely remove that entire layer of developer dependency. So I really want to leave you with this. If your website is no longer a slow-moving, expensive liability and is finally a live, rapidly editable asset, what will your business build next? When the digital friction is gone, your potential is entirely up to you. Thank you for joining me for this explainer.